Hi friends, it's Dewey here. I just had lunch at my friend's restaurant, Full Cart, and I'm walking home. And I thought I would bring you with me. We're looking at what used to be the Colonial grocery store and Jacob's Drugs, and I've mentioned this before. This has been bought by a company called Swimmerman, and they're turning it into a swimming school for kids. So you can see they've got their stuff in the window, and construction is happening inside. This is going to be an office, I think. And then over here where Jacob's used to be, I think is going to be, if I'm not mistaken, locker rooms on this side, and then there's going to be a pool on the other side. So, thought I would share that with you. And we'll walk home now. Sorry about the wind. I think you're going to catch a lot of it. All right, we're coming up to Dogwood Drive, formerly Stewart Avenue. And you can see across the way, there is Christ Church that's been sitting there for, I don't know, when did they move that? 2010? They moved it from the depot. I could be wrong, I forget. They moved it from over there to here. Santa Claus was in there last night for the kids. All right, I'm gonna walk behind. I've never walked behind here before because I just learned that this property and this parking lot here, they also own that stretch over there of the lot where there used to be, many years ago, there was another service station there, but this is the back of these businesses that face Stewart Avenue. Wow, look at all that old air conditioning, and wow, that building needs some work. This is the back of Thomas's restaurant, I think, that it used to be. You know, once again, this will all be used. It's been empty for the whole 8 years that I've been here. These parking spots that used to be used probably for, you know, when you were going to go shopping in the Colonial Market. Now they'll be used for the swimming school, but they own all this too. I did not know they own this lot, all this behind here and all this. So it's a lot of parking for the swimming school. You know, there used to be a service station here many years ago. That building's still sitting there abandoned. I've shared it a million times. It'll get torn down eventually. Over here, you recognize these. This has been renovated recently. It's called House of Belly. Can't see it very well. B-E-L-L-I. And that is an event space around the corner, and behind here there's another little building called Cafe Belly. Well, he has expanded because the back of this is right up to the back of his cafe. So now that's a beautiful space in there with a stage and a bar. It's an event space. It's a beautiful day today. This still sits here. I think I filmed this like months ago, and still it looks like they've cleaned up inside a little bit from the last time I was here. So there has been some activity. Has there? Wow, a little bit. Some stuff has been moved around since I was here last. But it's definitely gonna be torn down at some point. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving. I always think about the Quonset Hut restaurant that used to be there decades and decades ago. This is now an event space here at King Arnold and Dogwood Drive. Used to be a various brand names of auto dealerships there. It's 3421. Fulton County Review used to print there years and years ago. One of Hapeville's oldest residents who lives elsewhere now, sorry, my finger keeps getting in the way, Dick Miller, he sent me a picture of this house as he remembered it, but he told me he lived in that when he was 1 year old. Would I send him a picture of what it looked like now? So I ran over here and got it for him. And the original, it was really neat that he sent that picture to me because I'd always wondered what the porch looked like before all of that, in my opinion, ugly brick was put up there. But there was a chiropractor back that used this building in the 70s. And I think he's the one that maybe put that up there since it was going to be a business. Maybe the porch was a waiting room, who knows? But it's got arches. I'll find the picture and put it up here if I can. But those two houses still remain on former Stewart Avenue. And these are businesses that have moved in that I don't even know what they are. And we have a lot of that in Hapeville. We have businesses, you know, I don't know why they lease here. I guess they're businesses that don't need to worry about being a destination. They just need space. So this has been this way for a while. Both were renovated, but they're not really spaces that add anything to the community as far as places that we would go or services that we would need, because I'm not even aware of what they are. But that's common along here. Here's the Montessori school, both buildings. I know that used to be a doctor's office back in the day. Two original houses still here, 3388 and 3384. I've never seen anyone come or go in this house, but it has been recently painted and looks much nicer. This is hair salon. This little old house, I mean, this is old. This has got to be from the 20s, maybe early 30s. 3381. I saw someone out painting it a couple of weeks ago. Usually it sits here empty, and around tax time, some accountants move in there and do taxes, and then it's empty again the rest of the year. There's never any consistent tenants in there. This is where All Pro used to be. All Pro Auto, Chris's business. I was sad when he retired. Hapeville Radiator was in there for just a few months, and I don't know why, but now they're gone. So that property is for sale right here at the corner of Marina and Stewart formerly. Hapeville Mill at 3371, which used to have a 12-room house and I think 16 hotel rooms attached to it. It was called, I can't remember, started with an M. But it was a roadside motel here back in the day before this was built, before that was torn down and this was built. Big, beautiful magnolia tree here at the corner of Marina Street. I think I heard tell that on this corner there was a house that was a funeral home at one point. So this little plaza has improved a little bit since Arches Brewing moved out. Now we've got Chattahoochee. They moved here. It's their second location. Their first one's in Columbus, Georgia. In the middle is a tapas place called Fun Tapas, never been. And then here is a children's dance school. So I really wanted to update you on this because in my other videos over the last couple of years, I was sure to document the old homes that were here before that have been torn down, and I've showed you the construction site since. But over the last couple of weeks with the good weather, at least the section right near the road of these townhomes has just blown up so quickly. The smell of new wood smells so nice right now. Oh, I'm gonna have to go down and around. There's some folks down here that you guys might know, but I don't have their permission to put them on video, so I'm gonna go behind them. But anyway, these are townhomes right here at the curve of Stewart Avenue, Dogwood, right across from this house, which was recently sold, and that building. But you can see that, like, that's our front door right there, so there's gonna be stairs that go down, so they're raised up off the road, which is good because people whip around this corner, and my first thought was, oh, somebody's gonna have a car in their front door. But at least the first time it happens, they're gonna hit the cement at least. So that's the construction on these. I'm not sure what their names are, but there we have it. So we've got, I'm gonna come around the back here, just since I don't have permission to shoot these folks. But when you see them, you will know who they are if you're from Hapeville. But they're enjoying watching the construction as well. It is just, it's a gorgeous day for it. Beautiful day. But you can see new entrance here. There were a couple houses here. This is right about where the house that y'all called the mansion was. So, yep, and then there's another whole row there, and then there's 2 or 3 more rows that are gonna happen behind. So they're cramming quite a few in there. Here's where the bandbox used to be, to give you more context of where we are. I'm surprised the woman that bought these lives in Jasper, Georgia. I met her a couple of years ago, and for a minute it looked like she was going to do something with them, but I think she got in here. In particular, I went into this building and looked with her, and it needed so much work on the inside, and there was an infestation of raccoons, and I would imagine she's taking care of all that. But it seems that my guess is that eventually she'll sell this, and what's happening here is going to happen there, because that's just how it's going in Hapeville right now. If there's land, it's going to be a townhouse or an apartment complex on it. So I would imagine, I'm sure she must have been approached by now, and I'm curious as to why she's sitting on it. Retirement. It's probably a really good investment for her. I've never been a person who is into that sort of thing, investments in real estate, but I suppose it's a timing thing as far as when you're going to sell it or if you're going to sell it. Milk Jug, former Milk Jug convenience store at 3301. It's now a little, well, actually, I don't know what it is now. I don't see anything listed or a sign or anything, but for a while it was a church. This is now Hapeville Fish and Chicken, which what I think is interesting. They've been open, they renovated this, and they've been open several months, but I find it interesting that they're called Hapeville Fish and Chicken, but on the internet they're Chicken and Fish Hapeville. I feel like it should have been Fish and Chicken Hapeville. Anyway, no one asked me, but in my opinion, that's a marketing faux pas. You gotta have your business name match your website handle. There's Dogwood Court. When was that built? 1996. Another original home still standing. Right next to it, the White House used to sit here, it was called. It was a house very similar to this one that was a roadside home. Roadside, what do you call it? Inn. Here's 3288. Linda's hair. I always wonder if she stopped doing nails or if that just faded. I think I've mentioned that in videos before. Hello. Pizza Clinic, chiropractor at 3284. Now, things have gotten busier at this intersection. I was talking to Douglas the other day and I said, you know, within the next 2 to 5 years, I think this is going to be, especially with all the construction going, this is all going to transform. It was dead for a long time, but now we've got a successful business there, a restaurant called Convo. This right here, that used to be a liquor store, that is now a juice, like a smoothie and juice place. This is still the pantry, which is a questionable business. It doesn't really have any merchandise in there, but people go in to gamble, so I think that that's going to end up having to change sometime soon. The indication is that things are picking up at this intersection. And I mentioned before, the rumor is there's a local business that has a restaurant already and they're wanting to get this building, the old Quick Pick, and turn it into an Italian restaurant. There was a variance meeting late last month. No, this month. There was a variance meeting. So it'll be interesting to see if they were granted their variances and if that is moving forward, and that we're going to have an Italian restaurant. I live just right over here on Walnut Street, so I'd be very happy to have an Italian restaurant to walk to. We don't have Italian in Hapeville yet. Whoever owns this just uses it for storage. Whoever owns that, I have no idea. Every now and then you'll see someone in there, but I have no idea what business that is now. Sometimes someone's doing someone's hair in there, but it still has the old Georgia Peach Auto Sales and Brokerage sign on it, which looks like it's from the 80s, if not before. But it'll be neat to see what ends up in those two former gas stations at some point, or if they get torn down. This is 579. It was a hair salon, but their sign is gone. Maybe they're just closed today, but you never see anybody coming or going. Sometimes you'll see a car parked out here, but the curtains are always drawn. But I know there used to be a barber shop and a pawn shop there at one point. Anyway, I'm repeating myself if you watch my videos, because now I've covered all the streets and told all the stories that I kind of know right now, and was done. But then I had a few people that said to me, no, keep doing it, because the landscape is changing so much and so quickly that there's always something new. So that's what I'm doing. We're at Jackson and North Avenue. I'll go this way. So you'll see some things repeated, and then you'll see some things that are new. But I've covered all the streets and just thought I will keep going. This is something that's rare to still see in Hapeville, is, an original house. This is 3239 sitting on a double lot. My experience since I've been here is that would be sold, torn down, and 3 big monster mansions on here. But the whole time I've been here in Hapeville, this house has been empty, never had a for sale sign on it. Number 3239. It's a wonderful lot. The house itself has been we want to homogenized in such a way where it's not the most interesting structure, but it's got a nice big porch, and I mean the lot is huge. You guys know anything about this lot? Who lived here? There's the original garage is still right there. Someone would have driven their car back and parked it. It's an old garage. But yeah, I don't know anything about this property, but it sits right behind what used to be, I want to say Reed, a lawyer's office. Popular lawyers back in the 50s and 60s, they were in that building. And now we're at Jackson and Walnut. Oh, their front yard used to have a huge tree here at 3236. Well, it came down since I was here last. That really clears out this corner lot, doesn't it? Look at the tree was right there. It's gone now. Same here. Oh, wow. There used to be a huge tree on this corner and this corner. So now it feels very open here at Jackson and Walnut. This is 3224. Wow. And now here between this house, I can't see the number, and this house, 3227 was built over the last couple of years. And I remember in a previous video, someone told me that even though I'd always known this as an empty lot, there had been a house there before. So that's interesting. Oh, and then down here, I guess I'll go this way now, because I can't remember his name, but I met him one time before. He was in his 70s, I would say early to mid 70s. This gentleman was sitting out in a lawn chair in his front yard. I'll give you the house number. It's 3217 Jackson. He was sitting in his front yard, and I got to chatting with him, and he told me he had graduated from Hapeville High School and he had grown up in this house. And he shared with me a picture of his mother holding him as a baby on the front porch. And my thought is, this house is for sale now, 3217. I'm thinking maybe he passed away. I can't remember his name, but I have this picture of his mom right here on this porch. But he had this sign out here for many, many, many years that said Yard of the Month. And he told me when I stood here talking to him one day, he said his parents got Yard of the Month, and he just kept that in the yard all those years. This is going to make the house very hard to sell. 1, 2, 3, 4. Imagine coming to look at this house. 4 dogs. 4 dogs in that backyard. Barking. Oh, that's going to make that a tough one to sell. All right, now we're coming up to Lake Drive and Jackson, and this house on the corner had a woman living here for a really long time. Well, for at least the 8 years that I was here. But last year, this tree, we had a storm, and you can see that stump. Well, that tree fell, and it fell on this side of the house. So she had to move out, and I think that was, I'm pretty sure she was renting the place. So she's left, and she had all of this garden stuff in her yard. Her porch was screened in. It's all cleared out now here at 555 Lake. We're at 555 Lake Drive, so I'm thinking she had to leave, unfortunately, and it's probably going to get renovated, sold. It's 551. 547, I believe, is, well, no, it was an Airbnb, but now I see there's a car here and there are boxes on the porch, so maybe somebody is now living there. 550. Wow, that looks empty. There used to be tons of stuff on this porch, but it looks like, yeah, 550 is, yeah, sitting there all alone. Along this stretch of Lake Drive, we've got a lot of houses. On this side, interestingly enough, coming down, that are sort of in need of repair. This is 544. But on this side, there's a lot of them that have been renovated. 543. That's an Airbnb, if I'm not mistaken. This one could use a little bit of work. This one is number 540. 536. What a beautiful day. The sun is snuck behind the clouds right now. I love our old, this reminds me of my front porch on Walnut Street. This one was spruced up lately, number 535. Here's 528. And empty lot between 535 and 519. Look at that. You can see the old driveway though. You know, whenever there's an empty lot, I go, how is that a thing? Because things get snapped up here in Hapeville. The only thing I can think of, here's 522, is, you know, time passes and some lots just get lost and fall through the crack and the city doesn't know who owns them. 516 right here on the corner. And 515. And now we're coming up to North Fulton Avenue and Lake Drive. You can see, or remember this, it's the time of year where just leaves everywhere. When I first moved here, the city had a truck that would drive and suck all this up. Then they said, the truck's broken, do it yourself. So we were able to clean up our leaves and just push them into the street. Then they said, don't push them in the street anymore. You need to bag them up. So now the city doesn't clean up the leaves and we're supposed to bag them up. I just have the guy come to my backyard and mulch them with a lawnmower. Here's this cute little place, 320. It's a rental place. I always assume that it's theirs, but I don't know for sure. And now we're at Walnut and North Fulton. Walnut is my street. Have I ever told you that my house, which is down here, old maps revealed, 1920 it was built. It was the first house on my stretch of Walnut Street. All right. Thanks for taking the walk with me. Create yourselves a great day and happy Thanksgiving. Bye.